Hey everybody, it's Bust with Battles with Bust number 148. Today we're going to be doing battle with Poppy Taric. And so, before we dive in, I will make a note for our daily viewers that this will be our last constructed video of the season. This will be coming out on Friday. On Saturday, we'll be releasing the first group of my draft videos from the Tarheta Draft League. We'll have our 3 drafts, a round of practice games, and then the first week's match. So that will be coming up shortly, and then we'll also be fairly consistent in the future. I intend to have it come out on Saturdays, but we'll see when I actually get the games played. In terms of Saturday, that's also seasonals. My intent is to play in seasonals. I have an appointment that may override my ability to play children's card games, and so ideally I'll get to play. If not, sorry, sometimes life gets in the way. And then on Sunday, that's when the seasonals video will come out, and then I'll look to start putting together more Mimi-style content, more casual kind of content until the new cards come out. I believe they come out next week. That's the way things tend to be sequenced now. And so that's what's happening in the life of the channel and the life of this video itself. We are doing battle with Poppy Taric. And so this is the last one that I look to bring to seasonals. I feel like I finally locked in what I want to do. I had intended on considering playing like a triple rally lineup, looking to play the likes of Scouts, Kaisa of some form, and then the last one would probably some kind of Poppy deck, but some other rally deck as the third one. I'm not like super stoked about how that lineup feels anymore. I don't feel like there's enough darkness running around to really take advantage of it. I don't really want to be in the spot to where I'm not banning pirates, and so I'm going to change the ideal just a little bit. I'm going to bring pirates itself. I'm going to bring Kaisa, and then I'm looking for Poppy Taric to be the third deck that we're bringing. The idea now is that we'll just ban pirates, and then I feel reasonable enough with all of the other decks running around in the format. And so they either have to let us play Kaisa or they have to let us play pirates, and then I feel pretty reasonable about Poppy Taric's ability to carry the weight the rest of the way. And so that's what we're going to be trying to do. The only other consideration I have in the land of seasonals, if you're looking to bring triple rally yourself or however you're doing it, is the power of Ranger's Resolve. I've been really, really happy with Ranger's Resolve across all of our Demacia decks. It's so good against pirates. It shuts down Acacian Rains. It lets you build up these big boards. It's quite good against all of the various Vile Feasts and everything running around. Ranger's Resolve I'm very high on the current format. And then I'm uncertain as to how I feel about the various new hate spike decks running around, if you will, the rise of Evelyn Viego and the rise of Thresh Nasus, or not so much Thresh Nasus, but Nasus Kindred. It makes me a little less interested in playing triple scouts or triple rallies because their units are just bigger than ours, and so you find a lot of trouble dealing with their big boards and being able to close out the games. And so I want the pirates in there, and I want to have a little bit of variety in our lineup while still playing the big and good decks. I don't want to get too far off of the big ones. I think we've learned from that mistake that we would make in the past. It's okay to play pirates and also ban pirates, and so that's what we're going to be looking to do. And so in terms of our Taric Poppy deck, I go with the version that has the most punch, right? We've been talking about the idea of punch and this power to close out a game on turn 7 or turn 8 before the control decks can win on turn 8 or turn 9. And this is basically all in on our ability to hyper-focus in on the rallies, build up a good board, and then close out with a double attack. And so if you're not familiar with the main concept of what Taric Poppy does, is you put a Taric on the board, and then you put either Golden Aegis or Relentless Pursuit onto Taric. So on your turn, let's say you make an attack, and then you cast Golden Aegis on Taric after combat. You get the rally. You attack with Taric and Friend. Taric shifts the Golden Aegis onto the next unit, and then you get another rally. So you get to make 3 attacks on that turn. Or if it's your opponent's turn, same deal. You play the Golden Aegis, you play a Relentless Pursuit onto Taric. You get an attack. Taric shifts the spell onto his supported unit. You get an additional rally, then you get to make another attack. So you can either get 2 attacks or 3 attacks in a turn. And then you have all of these support units to help both level up Taric, protect them in combat, and then get double bonuses through all of these rallies. And so Frightened Ibex, for instance, gets a bonus to himself and a bonus to his supporter. Then if you attack a second time, they get the bonuses again and again. And so it's a kind of a cascading stack of power. The thing with this list itself, again, I mentioned going for the punch. I'm not playing a list that has a lot of mid-game stuff to it. We're not playing Concerted Strikes. We're not playing Guiding Lights. We're not trying to set up boards to where we make a value cast onto Taric. We are looking to close out the game as quickly as possible with these high-powered plays. And so we're playing the full complement of Rallies, the full 6, and then none of that utility stuff. Just a bunch of cheap-ass dudes, the bare minimum amount of combat tricks, and all of the champions. And so that is what we're going to be doing battle with today. This is what we're going to be doing battle with tomorrow as well. And to help us get ready for those battles, help us pay that pay-to-win price a little bit higher, a little bit more, we're going to send Taric directly to the pool party, but a little bit more premium this time. This is exactly what he needs to help pop off, exactly what he needs to be ready to go to the show, go to the battle, go to the beach without the shirt on. He's fucking shiny now. And so that's the number one tip for showing up at the beach. Be shiny. Be shiny. And all right, round 1 up against Sea Monsters. This is one of the decks that does give me a little bit of fright, a little bit of scared. It's a deck that tends to be extremely good against the big rally strategies, but it's also one of the reasons why I felt pretty okay with just cycling back to Pirates is it gets murdered by Pirates, right? This deck has a fairly bad matchup against it, and it's just a fairly tough spot to be in. When you're like, well, I'm going to play a deck that's bad against Pirates, but then your good matchups aren't like 80-20 or 75-25. They're like 55-45 and 60-40. And so it's not as super strong as you would like to be in the face of your good matchups. And so I feel pretty confident in just bringing the best decks in Pirates and Kaisa, and then also just being willing to... except that we're going to have some bad matchups along the way. All right, but this is going okay. We're gonna try and contest the Sea Scarab. We can hook it down next turn if we want. This is a little odd seeing the Dreg Dredgers come in. We'll just take the damage now and try and limit his deeps. We have Taric ready to start popping off on our opponent's next turn, and so we can add Taric now. We'll see if he's going to say just like Vengeance Taric. That's fine. It's not ideal, but it's okay. And now we're in a spot to where we should be able to hook down the Sea Scarab to the left, trade out for the Dreg Dredgers if we want, and then he's missing out on a bit of the deeps here. So this is kind of coming together. We'll add the Sojourners now, and this lets you kind of see what I'm talking about in terms of having the big rallies happen, right? We don't get to make the super big play. We don't have our Taric anymore, but we can drop another support here, and then we can go Sojourners into support, into our final unit. All of our units get these massive collection of stats, and then we can rally and do it all over again. Our temporary stats get used again, and then our permanent stats from Sojourners and Esmuth, of course, still stack up. But if you're using things like War Chiefs and the Ibex, where those stats would typically go away, you get kind of double duty out of them. Duty. But this feels good. If he's going to have to take the hit out of our Sojourners, pretty happy with all of that. I was going to say our Protege should be big enough to just smoke this board. Then our second attack, ideally quite strong. Let's see if he comes in and blocks here. There is some merit to it, but if he's aware that the second big attack is coming in, he might want to save it for a larger unit. Someone could have done the math. I'm pretty sure that was going to be lethal. Maybe we should have stopped to think on that one a little bit, but I'm pretty sure we were gonna take that one down. GG. It is a little bit different with the play cycles that the Taric deck hits than with, say, something like Scouts, where we get to come in with these big booms like this, these big high-powered, high-attack plays. It's a little different than you have with Scouts building up to Misfortunes and Quins and the like. Okay. Up against Pirates. And again, my plan is to just ban Pirates. It's a reasonably bad matchup for this deck. This deck, it doesn't have great matchups against either Pirates or Kai'Sa, but I feel like we get more draws from Kai'Sa where they're just like, oops, I win. And Kai'Sa just, had some kind of weird slow draw, or they drew their cards in the wrong order or whatever, as to where Pirates is just like their draws are so consistent and good. But here, I'm not the hugest fan of trading out for their small plays, but we can just never block that thing. And so I think it's okay to just go ahead and trade there with the bird when we don't have any follow-up support units. Now this is fairly disastrous, not having a play on turn 3. Probably just dead. We at least have some power here, and that we have the rallies and we can make a big play, but we're about to get fucking nugged. All right, squad. Let's get in here and see what you can do. Put Poppy in front of the 3 attack. You get a block down here. Only taking 9. But this is exactly what I'm talking about in terms of do I want to play against Pirates or do I want to play against Kai'Sa? And this guy, he didn't do anything special, right? He just had a 1-drop into a 2-drop, into another 2-drop, into a 3-drop, and like we completely stumbled and failed. Now, if we were playing against Kai'Sa, we would have had the opportunity to build into turn 6 or build into turn 7, and we had a Mountain Sojourners and a Poppy and a double rally, and since we weren't just outright dead, we might have had a potential to win a game against Kai'Sa, right? If they stumble, or even if they have a fairly normal draw, we have that big chance to opportunity to come in and just pop through, but that's never happening against Pirates. Never happening. That's just, you play like 15 1-drops, 12 1-drops, whatever. It's just that never happens to Pirates, and so that's why I'm reasonably happy to come in and ban it, and it's another reason why I'm not really upset about not playing something like Trundle Me or Feel the Rush, whatever you want to call it, even though I feel like it's very well primed and positioned for the format. All right, let's get this curve out. I think Evelyn... Oh, this is Evelyn Gwen, not Evelyn Viego. I'm curious if this is the same style of deck. Has to be a little bit different, right? If they're just not playing Viego, then they're probably not playing the... probably not playing the... what do you call it? The 3/3 that summons the things, the Encroaching Mists. Well, all right, Daddy Lover, let's see what you're up to here. A fucking name. This is like a reasonable start. Again, when it comes to these boards, I'd rather have the permanent stats from Tayari than the temporary stats of Warshiefs. And then we still have a good Protege next turn. Protege is big enough to take down the Phantom Butler. We should have some pretty safe attacks coming this round. So it's like, depending on the size of the unit he plays, we should be able to safely attack. If he plays something a little bit too big, we can still hook stuff out of the way with the Fleet Feather Tracker. Okay. We'll just take down as a good unit. Hate Spike, sure. Hey, not a bad draw with Esmuth. Oh boy, this Evelyn has Challenger. So I think it's okay if we just have to pass. Like, I have to assume he's gonna want to attack with his Evelyn, and so he probably won't just send it right back to us. But I think it's an okay spot if that's what happens. Oh, she has the thing, the bonus. We killed that 3-1, the Hallowed. Yeah, well, that's just too much. We can't lose our protege here just to a value attack. We have to get some amount of hooks happening next turn. Alright, we really have to try and focus on the Evelyn this turn. He just picked up the regenerate. So we're going to have to come in and try and hook her down. We could have looked to open attack, but that's like pretty scary in the face of a hate spike. And so with the Sojourners, we should still have the additional +2 stats we need to fight through. And then get attacks like this to where we can take Evelyn down. Alright, so we at least got that mess out of the way. Now we have to do, part 2 deal with Gwen. But that Challenger Evelyn with Regenerate's at least not going to just take a bunch of value attacks all over our board.
Ain't no shadows near, friend.
Alright, let's start with a little protection on the Sojourners. I still intend to, A, just take the damage from Gwen, and then B, play War Chefs and get an attack in, but I want to go ahead and get some of this protection on our Sojourners up front. If he has a Vengeance here, it's going to suck. Like, there's a limit to the amount of stuff you can play in these decks. Like, if he's playing Vengeance here as well, then by all means, okay. But there's a limit to the number of strategies and synergies you can put into your deck, and I don't think I can worry about everything. Must be kind of scared though, if he's just adding to the board now, like, or playing the Glimpse from Beyond and adding to the board. He can hit us for like 8. How big are our units at this point? The 6/6. I think this is okay. Like, we can't just like give up on our stats at this point. It's just so brutal. If, like, I get that he has this Phantom Butler that's going to be a good block, but if we just give up on picking up our stats and everything this turn, we're just going to fail. And so we're going to take a hit from Gwen. It's not that scary. I'm really surprised he gave up both of his units instead of just one. But this is okay. Now we're in a spot to where we have a very good open attack. We don't have to worry about Quinn's quick attack anymore. And then these rallies hopefully carry us through. Okay. I think we're good now. So we'll give him a chance to just add some shit to the board. Ideally, we'll just come in and get kills with our Esmuth, but I'd feel a little bit better if you wanted to come out here and spend some mana. I think we did it. I think we took down Daddy Lover 13. Now, as someone, if you're new and you're not familiar with the name FTP Bust, where Bust came from is I used to use the handle, the moniker, the internet name Buttstuff420. Now, one of the far and away best names ever made. There's no argument that Buttstuff420 is still just a top-notch name to use on the internet, but I felt like if you wanted to become a content creator and get approved by YouTube and shit, that you probably can't use the name Buttstuff420. And so I did take the first piece of that in butt. That's where you get the BU. And then I took the first part of stuff. That would be ST for those of you following along. And then if you push that together, that's bust. And that's just kind of the merging of Buttstuff420. And so as I see someone named Daddy Lover 13, I'm curious if this is, someone that it's not their first day on the meme scene and they and they just pieced together a really good name, or if it's something that that they were actually like 13 years old and thought that that was somehow an appropriate name to use on the internet, and and now it's like they have a collection and they have their League of Legends skins and stuff, and they just never transferred away from being Daddy Lover 13. However they got there. Oh, Andy missed. LOL. However they got there, I think I'm on board with what they're about. Daddy Lover 13. Whoa, and he's attacking? All right. Well, I'm not getting into that. If we're gonna like block with Taric and he's gonna twin disciplines down our unit, that's not cool. We have just too much going on this turn. So Taric into you. Get this good hook. It's about 1 million damage coming in. And then we should win with the rally. The real downside to playing Ezreal Kennen is you absolutely can't win a game if you don't draw Kennen. So we should be pretty locked and loaded to win this one. There you go, you found him. Let's give him a chance to play some more stuff. We're most certainly dropping a rally this turn. They could have a deny. That's not... man, I wonder if we should have just held on to Esmuth. It's like I was looking at Esmuth as just a fairly simple way to deal a point of damage. But now that I'm thinking on this a little bit further, if we'd banked this 2 mana into the next turn and then had the opportunity to double rally, that does sound quite a bit better than just having Esmuth on board. This was a definite misplay on our end. We still won because we're the best in the world, but I think having 8 mana on turn 6 and then having the opportunity to double rally was the safer path. Learn from the best. As they say in the classic movie, hackers, mess with the best, die like the rest. Classic 90s movie. If you want to learn how to do hacker stuff, that's most certainly the way to go about it. You want to join Anonymous and do hacker stuff? That's basically the guidebook. I think to a degree they actually did a lot of legitimate things. I don't know anything about the world of hacking or the phone stuff that they were doing, but I'm pretty sure that there was a point in time to when you could play like certain sounds into telephones and then they would do things. So if you wanted to like get a free long distance call, this probably makes no sense to like half of you. When you had a landline and you had to make a long distance call, it cost more money to call somebody farther away from you than than someone close to you. And so there were ways around it, right? You could just make special noises into your telephone, and you could get those long distance calls for free. I think they did some of that stuff in the movie, but I don't entirely remember. It's honestly probably been a decade since I've seen Hackers, and so I'm not entirely current on everything happening there. I hope you all are current though. I don't know if I can recommend that you go watch it. I'll say, yeah, go watch it. You know, it's your life. You do you. You go slap that one on. It's got Angelina Jolie in it, if that's your thing. But it's probably let's be real. It's probably not worth your time. All right, building up a reasonable board. This would look a lot better if we could peel off a Poppy or a Taric to punch in big damage. But this is just like such a perfect example of what I was talking about in terms of having to play against Kaisa and then having to play against Pirates, as to where this Kaisa deck's done Kaisa things. We've dealt with it. It hasn't been, you know, spectacular. This is kind of a pain in the ass to deal with the Broadwing, but we're in it, right? We have the opportunity to get to the stage to where we can drop our power plays. This is actually a turn where we should have maybe considered playing Golden Aegis on the Broadwing, but I feel like we're going to get a better round of attacks next turn. But we like the Kaisa nut fast draw is just nothing like Pirates, to where you're just like, LOL, the game's over. And so I think it's worth noting that's why I'm okay with taking the game plan of just ban Pirates and play against Kaisa, as these matchups can be won. This is kind of an interesting attack. This is like says, okay, I have a sharp sight in my hand. And if that's the case, how bad is it? It's pretty bad, right? If we put our 4/6 in front of the Elder, it does die. No, it doesn't. He's going to have 5 health. So we just have to take it. But we definitely need a Poppy or a Taric here. Another Rally is what we get, though. I mean, we can do stuff like this. We can try and make the most out of this board. He can't... If he has the sharp sight, he can block one of our small dum-dums, yes. But otherwise, we should get good hooks on this attack, grow our board a little bit, and then maybe do some more rallying in the future, with Laurent Protege being the one that's capable of doing big damage to his board. Or if things look a little too odd, we can pivot a little bit and say, like, play Tayari, a Pale Cascade, and a Relentless Pursuit. It still feels like he has a sharp sight. Like, I don't want to get blown out by sharp sight here, but like, if we don't do something impressive now, he's just going to load up Kaisa next turn and kill us. 9 damage coming at the Protege. Pretty good. Pretty good.
Today base camp, tomorrow the summit.
Do we go Aegis onto Tayari? I think that's the angle. So he's not going to want to block Tayari. We can attack Esmuth into Tayari, boost the Broadwing up to 3, put the Broadwing into the Protege, and then Pale Cascade into the Broadwing. Just try and take this board down a little bit.
No time to rest.
See if the draw changes anything. It doesn't. Okay. Doesn't feel good. We've put a lot of work into this board, and we are not ahead. And so I think we could have recovered here with a Poppy or a Taric, but without them, this tough Broadwing is just incredibly dumb to deal with. taking it slow.
I must fight.
Alright, it's not a lot we can do. These Rangers resolves aren't going to get the job done here. Alright, give us that thing we need. Well, Mountain Sojourners could be that thing we need.
I know we can reach the top if we work together.
I know we can reach the top if we work together. Yep. Not surprised by the Void Abomination. He hadn't have Kaisa up to this point. It's pretty likely. If you're playing the 3-3 going into turn 8, you've probably got one. And we're not a turn 8 deck. This is just a big KO to us. GG. But yeah, I think I'm still pretty spot on with that. It's just like on that turn where we attacked with the Golden Aegis, if we'd had a Taric or a Poppy, we could have potentially popped something off. Or if he didn't have the Broadwing into Tough combo, we could have survived that a little bit better. But man, when you have to play against Pirates and they're spending their first 6 or their first 8 mana just like all on units super consistently and easily, you can't... You just can't risk it, in my opinion. I can't be like, wow, I'd love to play against Pirates all day. It's so tough. All right, Ibex was a good pickup. Like I'm not going to like hang on to the Rangers' resolve to play around their Vile Feasts, or if they want to play Pack Your Bags or whatever. And so I was looking to pretty happily just Fleet Feather Tracker into Esmuth, but the Ibex lets us punch in with real units here.
What wondrous discoveries await below.
Let's see what happens as we view. Don't be afraid of the howling gale as it blows across the mountain and through the dale. Never you worry, you have nothing to fear. My darling, rest. Mother is near. Aw. That's very happy. That's very nice. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me of that, Riot. A Targonian lullaby. Alright. Esmuth in hand took the boost, and then he's not playing anything. I'm just going to keep flooding out the board. Let's take the safe route again. We'll go Ibex first. We'll play Esmuth. Next turn, we'll look to just do... I mean, we got to wait and see where the Chime lands, I guess. It might change our opinion, but planning on just going for the Fleet Feather Tracker and the Protege. I guess the real question is, do we ever want to just open attack here? It looks like he's about to pack our bags or something, and that it's not worth the effort, but... Our Fleet Feather Tracker should be pretty safe now, though, right? No, he's definitely safe now that he picked up the point of health.
Break their spirits and their swords. Hardly fair.
Okay. Put a boost on our ground units. Pull the Spiderling to Protege. He's going to be the toughest one to kill. Seems good. Now we're ready for a rally next turn.
For the wicked, for the dead, I bring rest.
So you can do 2 damage darkness at fast speed. Just boost our bird, right? Well, the bird will be safe in combat. Let's boost the Protege. If we boost the Protege, he could potentially hook in and kill Senna with the 4 attack.
Keep your distance.
Okay.
Turn it against them.
We're not just lethal here, right? Hang on. One short. Okay. So that takes him to 4. I think we're safe to just open attack next turn. He has to deal with a lot of our stuff. All right, GG. Victory for Bust. So how y'all doing out there? Have you bought any chairs since a few videos ago? Do any of you work at Herman Miller and wish to give me a chair sponsorship? Do you make a ass sweat deodorizer and you would like to sponsor the stream? Did you go to your wife and say, "Listen here, woman, the guy on the internet"? I hope people could realize that stuff is a joke. You never know anymore when someone's gonna take shit out of context, or you read the text version of something and this guy just says, "Approach your wife, tell her, listen here, woman, nerd on the internet said." It's just gets out of hand quick. So jokes were had. Hope internet understood. Oof. All right, on to this game. This is one of the deck it's one of the kind of risers of the format, and it's one of the few decks that kind of worried me about actually playing the triple rally lineup. I can't remember if we talked about this earlier or not, but it's a fresh one into the format in terms of its rising popularity, and then it's just like it has like a lot of the same big card aspects that we used to see out of say like the Bard decks from the previous season. It's very easy for them to just put a big old bunch of stats onto the board and cause us problems. And it's kind of another spaces to where it's a deck that has a bad matchup against Pirates, a good matchup against the Rally kind of stuff. But I feel like if you're willing to bring a deck that's just bad against Pirates to seasonals, then I mean it's a decision. It's a bold one to make. I think we're just going to crush through here, but ultimately, when we're playing a deck like Scouts, that it just doesn't have a lot of opportunities to win games quickly. I wanted to be a little bit safer in what we were doing battle against. So if we want to like go after his units, we can't get kills and then also survive. But I think this is fine if we just look to kill his plays. And then win with the rally attack next turn. He can get out of this like a little bit if he's playing hate spikes and stuff. He can take down our plays. Ooh, that's rough for them though when they don't have the follow up. See what he does. He goes Kindred. This is a tough spot. I don't think we ever get out of playing the Relentless Pursuit. It's not tough in the sense that he would have like a Vengeance for our Taric, right? Our Taric's always surviving this turn. It's this stuff. If he's able to like kill our Esmuth and get some of that going, it's real pain in the dick. So now we have to ask ourselves, do we feel okay with just open attacking here? And now that we've picked up like the Ibex and the Protege, I feel a little bit better about our turn, but we have to count on Ibex to protect for Taric. All right, that's fine. Let's just go ahead and start and get an attack in. See how he responds with this Kindred. Our Taric should be safe. Interesting. Now we're kind of primed and ready to win through a Vengeance, or what? Ultimately sure what his angle is here. Gonna put the Relentless Pursuit onto Protege. Yes, I understand you can Relentless Pursuit Taric. That's the way to get some of this big combo stuff going, but we just outright win the game now, right? The idea with putting it onto Protege is if he's going to now Vengeance our Taric, that we get to still kill his Kindred with our 3/4 Protege, and we're not completely out of the game. Maybe we should have stopped. Like, I think we would have. Maybe we should have put it on the small Ibex. That would have given us the opportunity to just have the lethal. Like, I think I had that like motion through my brain piece, and then I thought that the math didn't work. Maybe it did work. Either way, that's not the space to be rallying onto Taric. We're just gonna outright win the game if his plays Vengeance. All right, the final one. And see, this is like exactly why I'm worried. I don't know if this is just because this is what. Oh shit! Double Rangers Resolve's not a good open. I'm good with one, not multiples to start. But I'm not certain if this is just what I'm seeing down here at Dumpster Legend, where I've been like testing a lot, and it's other people just testing a lot, or if this is a realistic indicator of what we're going to be seeing at seasonals. But it's just been so much of these Shadow Isles decks that it has me like scared out of playing Scouts, and I don't know if that's just like a function of like something that happens every seasonals, right? I'm not like really super up on it, right? We've only been playing this competitive constructed for, I don't know, 6 months now. And it's just like as a deck, like last season with Gnar Bard or Gnar whatever, the Gnar Renekton decks, it just ultimately has me worried to play Scouts when these decks seem to be so popular. All right, well, let's Rangers Resolve while we can. You can still like hate spike out of this turn, but one step at a time. Now we got our big boy down. Still have a little bit of protection in our Rangers Resolve. We can ignore Evelyn this round since we have a million challengers, and so not the end of the world.
See what's inside.
Alright, see if a hate spike or something comes at us. Vile Feast. I don't know when we're ever going to use another Ranger's Resolve, so let's just go ahead and protect the entirety of our squad. Also, limits him from having the Husk to get Evelyn going next turn. Takes out some of their sacrifice things. This feels nice and safe. There's a Fury Husk, generates a Fury Husk, fine. As long as he's not putting down like challengers or elusives, I feel fairly safe. Why is Vora coming in? How does this ever get punished by... Is he just trying to weaken our protege? If he has like the Tellstones to give this thing +2/+2, like, I think I'm okay with that. I don't understand that attack with the 3/3. So all we're looking to get out of this attack is Evelyn out of combat. And so we can do something like this. Evelyn comes way down here. I'd like to get the Broadwing in and deal the actual damage with it. So let's pull the Spiderling into combat. We can pull the Tough Dude into combat. Looks like we're punching in for 8. Alright. He thought about something and said, nah, man, not today. Not today. Vigio. Can we attack around this enough? He's going to have 3 units on board. So how do we want to go about this? If he has a hate spike, we can still make an 8 power Broadwing. I think we can safely go after his champions here. So we're gonna look to Relentless Pursuit the Broadwing. We're gonna boost it with Taric. Oh fuck. Okay, well, at least we know before combat, I guess. So do we just let Viego do his thing? I still want to kill the Evelyn here. We're not getting away from that.
I do this.
So now he can take the best choice of what he wants with Viego, whether or not that's the Ibex or the Tayari, I don't care. We get to take down Evelyn. I mean, this is the best shot we're going to get. We can hopefully refill board and then punch in. The only thing I'm curious is if we had an angle somewhere to maybe boost the Esmuth just a little bit. But
I should stamp you out like the insect you are.
okay.
Whatever the journey brings.
I've got this dope Tayari. Getting a little scary, We're not gonna block this Viego, so we do die to a vengeance. But you know what they say. Is what it is. The Relentless Pursuit.
I won't stop now.
Right, that's the best we can hope for. We've got a lethal presented. If he has a way out, he has a way out. But with the way this game went, I feel like that's pretty good. He has the atrocity. All right, fair enough. I think that's all we can ask for if we have to play turn 8 against Viego. Is having the opportunity to lethal, and that's especially relevant. Like, I feel like across the course of these 8 games, we had Poppy online 0, and we had Taric online maybe 2. And I know that my strategy is to just hard mulligan them away every single game. But I would feel like across 8 games, at some point, we would hit a Poppy or more Tarics or, something a little bit more even across how things go. But at the end of the day, that's one of the reasons why I feel at least okay with this deck. Like, again, I don't amount this to being a top tier deck. I think this is like a tier 2 deck as to where both Pirates and Kaisa are tier 1 decks, but I think it fits into the theme of what we're trying to do as to where we're just kind of ignoring Pirates. We are bringing Pirates, and so ideally we have some additional hate against all these Shadow Isles decks, and then it's a deck that can still hold its own. I think the actual scarier version for us is going to be the Kindred ones, when they have access to Shurima, and then the Shurima cards can counterspell our Rallies. I think that's a little bit scarier than running into the Viego versions. And so I think that we're kind of okay in that sense. And then again, we do have the real punch heavy version of this. You can see in all of these games as to where we have the board flooded and we're getting into combats and we're having really good curves. And you don't get quite as much of that if you're trying to play things like Guiding Light and you're trying to play things like Concerted Strike. I'm here to be all in as fast as we can, and Those cards just slow that stuff down. I'm sure there was like an opportunity throughout the day to where we would have liked to have had a concerted strike, but we do run into quite a few games to where you just don't have the opportunity to play it. And so I'm not super upset about it not being here. And so that is it. That is going to be the final video in terms of Battles with Bust constructed play for Forces from Beyond. Is that the name of this set? Fuck, I don't even remember. I could never remember the name of this set. It's tough. It's tough when you have to remember like 6 a year instead of 3. And so it is what it is. I blame it on Riot. It's always their fault, not mine. But nonetheless, that will do it for us today. I hope Taric's glisten at the pool party was not too distracting. Hope you maybe learned a thing or two along the way. Had a good time watching. This is Bust and me. Thank you for being here.